What is happening, everybody? Ray here. I'm doing a quick video to talk about more information on this rumor about this new Final Fantasy spin-off game. Apparently, a lot has come to light about this story. A lot of really interesting stuff. They're now saying that it's going to be an action RPG Final Fantasy spin-off. Of course, the Final Fantasy I'm talking about is the original Final Fantasy from, I believe it was 87 on NES. The same, it's supposed to be maybe in that same world, parallel to that same world. You all know I'm a huge fan of the NES, SNES era Final Fantasy stuff. It just kind of has a simplistic, easy to follow story, good characters, good art. But this is fascinating because they're talking about the team that worked on Nioh. Of course, that's also the team that worked on Dissidia NT. Team Ninja at Koei Tecmo is going to be rumored to be working on this game and already in development. Apparently, according to, I am on Fanbyte website that I just clicked on an article, fanbyte.com, and apparently there's going to be something to show at E3. That's what's coming out. That's the rumor going around. Of course, and they're saying there's going to be like an alpha for the game this summer at some point. PlayStation 5 exclusive release with a PC release further down the road. I could just read the article here real quick, but this is really fascinating. It says, over the weekend, a number of rumors have swirled about possible E3 announcements, as traditionally happens in the weeks leading up to the industry trade show. In particular, a rumor seemed to swirl around two websites, Reddit and gaming forum Reset Era, which I do read Reset Era stuff, about a new Final Fantasy spin-off that Square Enix is announcing this year. The rumor states that Square Enix is working with Team Ninja, which, man, come on, man. Alright, look. Koei Tecmo's in-house development team behind games like Ninja Gaiden, Nioh, and perhaps most relevantly, the latest entry in the Final Fantasy fighting game series, Dissidia NT, which we talked about that a second ago. The posted rumors go on further by assigning the game a genre, something akin to Nioh or the Souls games, and suggesting it takes place somewhere or adjacent to the world of the first Final Fantasy game on the NES. This is incredible. If this is true, if there is smoke to this fire, we get a Souls Nioh style Final Fantasy game around the story of the first Final Fantasy. That's incredible. I'm here for that. Okay, so it says, our sources have corroborated this rumor and suggest the name of the game is Final Fantasy Origin. I've seen that floating around. I've seen people saying that might be the name of this game. The game, which appears to be exclusive to PlayStation 5 with a PC release further down the road, will be one of Square Enix's tentpoles at their upcoming E3 show. For whatever reason, several large chunks of the updated June show have leaked out, including the Final Fantasy Origins logo and demo plans. Square Enix hopes to release an alpha demo this summer, not unlike Nioh's public alphas, to solicit feedback from the audience while the game is still in a fairly early state. This demo, like several other major demos, has its own title of Stranger in Paradise. Yeah, okay. Expect the title to play similar to Nioh or other games in the genre, but to be more accessible for a wider audience. That makes a lot of sense. Fanbyte sources indicate that the game is largely developed by the same team behind Dissidia NT, but that Team Ninja's nearly 200-person studio involves a lot of shifting around and that there aren't hard borders on the different teams these days. That's good. So they're loosening things up a little bit. The Nioh DNA in the game is likely the result of people core to the first two games' development being involved in Final Fantasy Origin. It's worth mentioning that anything could change before the final show, especially as more things leak out in the weeks ahead of E3. So this should not be misconstrued as a guarantee that the game will appear there. Still, production and marketing appear to be gearing up for a full swing on the title soon, so it should not be too long until we hear something about it. Here for it. That sounds incredible. Like the concept of taking that and putting it into a Final Fantasy Origin, that makes a lot of sense. You're going back, all these remasters and all these, remakes stuff, the talk of that stuff swirling. It would make sense that they want to go back to the original Final Fantasy, the very first Final Fantasy, the game that saved this company and made them a worldwide juggernaut, it would make sense they would want to go back and show that love in some way. How do you do that? Well, they probably don't want to make, I don't think Square Enix wants to make turn-based RPGs anymore in the style that we remember. So I think now they want to get in this action RPG market with turn-based elements and stuff. Final Fantasy VII Remake's battle system was incredible, but it sounds like they want to do something different with this title, and I'm for it because it's experimentation with a game that you don't want to just leave in the dustbin. They want to show this some love. I'm cool with that. This sounds like a perfect way to implement that, a perfect way to experiment with a new style of game for them. If they want to include turn-based elements, JRPG elements that made the series famous, but they also want to make it like action-oriented, like a Nioh or a Souls game or something like that. I think that's incredible. I'm really excited for that now. Like, this is really exciting news. When the rumor first broke, I was like, I don't know what it could be. A few people were saying that it could be like a Souls type game, and now it sounds like that rumor is picking up steam. That's why I wanted to cover it here on the channel. So anyway, let me know what you all think. I hope you're as excited as I am about this, because this could be big stuff. Square Enix's E3 is really shaping up to be something special. This could be one of those legendary shows that we talk about for years. It could be, but we also have to be careful not to overhype ourselves, right? I have to be careful not to overhype myself, because anything can happen. We know that too. So they've already kind of covered their bases here by saying it's worth mentioning that anything can happen, blah blah blah. They're covering their bases just in case something doesn't happen, because Square Enix could pull this game in any title. They could be getting ready to show Remake Part 2, a little bit of that off. They could decide to pull it for a later time. They've done that before. Game companies do that all the time. It's a common practice. So it's good for us as fans and onlookers to be hyped and be excited, but also know to be cautious, because you may not get what you think you're going to get. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. More stuff coming tonight. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you're having a great start to your week. Keep rocking. Be safe out there. Be good to each other. And of course, you all will see me very soon.